Hello everybody, welcome to the webinar, and I just want to start off by of course reminding everyone of Reliv's mission, which is to nourish the world in mind, body and spirit. And of course we all take that on board as a holistic approach to what we do and how we go out there and change people's lives on a daily basis. Our vision for Asia Pacific is to reach $1 million in US dollars in the Asia Pacific market per month. And remember, if Reliv is doing sales of that type, then that means you as a distributor, as an engaged and active distributor, you're making money as well and working your way towards financial independence. Emily is going to share her experience from day-to-day life and as a Gen Yer of smartphones, which leads me on to the next step. How can a distributor access webinars and training materials on our YouTube channel?
Now again, this one's super easy and it's one I really recommend because you'll probably find yourself using it all the time, whether it's watching these videos in your spare time or showing them to prospective customers. Now what you can do this one of two ways, but I'm going to recommend the way that I would do it. I would first access the App Store if you haven't already done this and download the YouTube application. It is a free application and all you have to do is search YouTube. Now basically this application will then be loaded on your mobile screen and you'll be able to tap the icon that says YouTube. Once you're in YouTube, you want to search for our Reliv ANZ YouTube channel. That will take you to our channel, and then you can scroll down and search for our latest videos, including our webinar videos. They are updated weekly and they're a great source for your training, and I highly recommend that when you're there you also subscribe and like the videos so that we know what to do in the future and that you can keep track and notified of new videos that come on our channel.
The other thing that distributors may not be aware of is that we have all of our webinars archived on our website. How would they access them from their smartphone?
So you're going to follow a similar process to when you were accessing the website to sign someone up. You would open up your internet browser, let's say Safari, and you would type in our website address again, and you would simply, on the top toolbar there is a training toolbar that you would click, and then that gives you access to all our latest webinars in alphabetical order.
But the next question I suppose now is that how can a distributor access our Pinterest page for marketing materials and also a bit of fun?
Yes, so now moving through to like the social media side of things, we would follow the same kind of process again, going to the App Store, searching Pinterest and downloading the application, and then once you have the application there will be a similar field where you can search for Reliv Australia and New Zealand, and that will bring you to what is called our boards. And our boards are like our folders of different categorized images and links where you can find different articles and materials to use in your business.
So how can a distributor access our blog and learn how to add it to the home screen shortcut?
Yeah, so again Bernie, it's super simple. Basically you want to open up your internet browser again, and just like you would on your computer, you'll type in the toolbar www.relivanzblog.com and it will open you up to our blog homepage. And basically what I would recommend, because we're constantly updating that blog with fun articles and informative articles as well on our products and business, I would recommend that you add it to your home screen. Now this can be different with certain models of phones, but just to give you a bit of an example, all you would basically do is when you're on your browser, it gives you an option to access the settings of the browser. They often look like little lines, and select Add to Home Screen. Now what this will do is it will allow you to name it whatever you would like. I would just suggest something like the Reliv blog, and basically then it will create a small icon on your phone and then you'll be able to access it whenever you would like to.
Now that we've got our distributors doing all sorts of things and they're becoming experts and on their smartphones, one of the things that a lot of distributors like to do and a lot of distributors are actually doing is sponsoring over long distance. And of course, as I said, we have a lot of distributors who do this, and some distributors have been using Skype for a long time, but generally speaking they use it from their computer, and a lot of people may be used to this. But what people may not be, and what distributors may not be aware of, is that you can actually make a Skype call from your phone. So how would they do this?
Skype is an amazing way to contact with people, cheap if not free. Now, what I would recommend again is getting the Skype app for this through the application store, like we explained. Now, you'll see what it looks like when you're first signing up. You obviously want to follow the prompts and provide the information that is needed. And then basically, when you're on the main page, you'll see something that looks like a Skype profile. Now, you do have to know people's Skype IDs or their numbers to be able to ring them, so you will have to add to that address book, but there is often handy ways to import those contacts from your address book. Now, once you do this, you can then select to call the people and have a Skype video call.
Okay, so we've discussed a lot of things now, so what about email? Email is something that's used prolifically these days, and most of our distributors would be using email on a regular basis. So how do our distributors set up their email account on their smartphone?
It's very vital, Bernie, and I think having your email makes it so much easier to function as a business person and a person in general. Now, what I would suggest you start with is going into your phone settings, as you'll see, and basically what you want to do is look for something that talks about your mail, contacts, calendar, for example, in an iPhone. And then basically what you want to do is select an add account. Now, depending on the type of email address you have, whether it's a Gmail address, Hotmail address, or something like your name at optus.net, basically you will choose the according one. Now, if it's, for example, a Telstra or an Optus email, you want to select the exchange option, and once you go through the prompts, it may ask you to add in extra settings. Don't panic, we'll include a few links on how to do this from different providers. Obviously we can't provide them all. What I suggest you do is, if you're having trouble with the settings, Google them through the operator's website, and they'll often have a walkthrough of how to add those settings, have the email set up and working on your account. And also make sure that you are aware of your username and correct password. And if you're still having trouble, you can always call up your provider and they can walk you through it.
Okay, so great. So that's great, Emily. So today, what we've done is we've talked about why should distributors have a smartphone and use it in their business. We've talked about what they should look for on a smartphone, the common terms that are used, such as Wi-Fi, which is a term everyone hears all the time. How they can sign up prospective customers, they can access our webinars and our training. We've talked about how they can access our Pinterest page and set up their accounts, our blogs, and which is so important so they know what's going on, how they can make a Skype call so that they can actually work with their teams and sponsor at long distance without costing them any money. And of course, how to set up their email. I guess the other thing, of course, we've talked about the penetration of smartphones in the markets, and quite surprising, some of these statistics, and some people felt that in some of our Asian markets that the penetration of smartphones wouldn't be so high, but of course the Nielsen report proves that that is not the case. That in Malaysia, of course, we have 80%, Singapore 87%, which is both of those higher than Australia, where it's a 75% penetration. So with that having been said, is it about time that people who haven't got a smartphone got rid of their fear and jumped out there and got on a smartphone and started to use it? What do you think?
Absolutely. You'd be mad not to. It's going to be an amazing utility, and unfortunately you probably won't put it down after that, but it's a good thing.
Well, that's a good point, because I know when I first got my iPhone that it took me a little while to get used to the technology, but once I was used to it, it's something that's with me all the time. And then of course I moved to my tablet, and the beauty of it is it makes me so mobile I can have it anywhere I go. So thanks today, Emily, for all your help and everything you've done. And thank you to everybody who's watching this webinar. And what I would like to say to you now is just to remember what our mission is, and that is to nourish the world in mind, body and spirit, and for everyone to go out there and start changing people's lives. Share your story. Thanks again. Bye.